What's going on, dudes? Welcome back to the vault. It's your boy, MC Magician Titties with a fresh trim, and I say Magician Titties because the film I'm going to be reviewing for you tonight is the personal history of David Copperfield. But I genuinely thought that David Copperfield was some kind of magician. And it's only recently that I found out that he's actually a character from a Charles Dickens novel. So that's how tonight is going to go. I'm sure there is a magician with the last name Copperfield called David Copperfield, unless I'm going crazy. Anyway, let's just jump straight into it. This one opens with David Copperfield performing a reading of his book before we get front row seats to his birth. Great cast for this one. Dev Patel plays our title character and is joined by Tilda Swinton and Hugh Laurie, who both give great performances as Copperfield's sharp aunt and her cousin with his head in the clouds. I really enjoyed Laurie's performance in this. There's also a great supporting cast with the likes of Peter Capaldi, Gwendolyn Christie, and Ben Whishaw. The standout for me, though, was the young actor who played Copperfield as a boy. He was just an extremely natural talent, that welcomed the audience to this character in a brilliant way. Everyone involved was superb, though. Charles Dickens' eighth novel, as I mentioned. The story for this one tells of David Copperfield as he tries to find his way in life and find his way through the weird and quirky world that he inhabits with even weirder and quirkier people. The story certainly succeeds in its main goal, and that was to introduce David Copperfield to a more modern audience. The fact that it's able to do this so effortlessly is a testament to how wonderful the original source material is, and the writers who adapted it so well. It's written so well that we feel an instant connection with him as an audience. The humour in this is also incredibly weird, like one character hating donkeys so much. And hating donkeys being on our land and using violence on anyone who does this, who brings donkeys onto our land. It's just a very sweet and gentle kind of humour, which I enjoyed. The film also moved at a steady and enjoyable pace, which was a plus. This one is directed by Armando Iannucci, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And whilst this is the first work of his that I have seen, I am familiar with him. He brilliantly presents the source material and the characters alongside it. He also expertly plays with the camera and keeps the story from slowing down to a slow crawl. As a first introduction to the kind of director this man is, it's a pretty solid first film to going on. I haven't seen Death of Stalin yet, but I'm now even more eager to watch it and see if the same style choices and themes are present. I also have to quickly mention the beautiful set pieces and locations. Of course, this film is set in 1800s London, like most of Dickens' novels. 1800s, like UK, like most of his novels, but the mixture between the harsh streets of London and the more genteel locations of Dover and Yarmouth is truly wonderful, especially in Yarmouth with the boat turned into a home. The set dressers and scouts did a brilliant job, bringing Dickens well to a thriving life, and I really did appreciate that. As someone who's not really familiar with Dickens' work, having not read many of his novels, it was great to see this one brought to life so vibrantly. And the only thing I learned from this was that there's always time to fly a kite. Not that I'm all that good at flying a kite, but there we have it. So there we go. There's my very quick review for the personal history of David Copperfield. Should probably shorten that down just to David Copperfield. Might be much easier. So let's just jump to the two most important questions. Question number one: would I recommend this film? I mean, I personally wouldn't recommend this film. I enjoyed it, yeah, but I mean, unless you're like a huge fan of Charles Dickens or the director or any kind of actor in this film, then I personally wouldn't go and watch it. I personally wouldn't recommend it. But if you are a fan of Dickens works, then yeah, definitely this film will be for you, and you'll probably end up really really enjoying it. But I would just go and watch it. There's many films out at the end of this week, that I would say are much better. So having said that, let's just jump to the next important question. Does this film belong in the vault? My only issue with this film, and I really don't want to get controversial, but the forced diversity casting really did put me off. There were just a couple of characters whose genealogy made no sense because their parents were of a totally different skin colour and ethnicity, like the white son and his black mother. If the characters I like this in the original novel, then fair enough. If not, then I feel like if you have a book with all white characters, then keep it that way. Same as there's a book with, say, an all Asian character list, Crazy Rich Asians being a prime example. I just found it really off-putting that certain characters had, completely different genealogies to their parents, and they looked nothing like their parents in this film. And I don't know, it really took me out of the film, and it just kind of put me in the mindset of this was definitely kind of forced diversity casting, which I hate to see in films because it just ruins the film for me. But anyway, without getting too controversial, there is my so for that reason alone, I will not be putting this film into the vault. As much as I did enjoy it, that was just kind of in the back of my head for like the longest time throughout the majority of the film. So there's that little turd star. It's gone off with a followed by a lovely flying kite. Hugh Laurie's kite from this film. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. There we have it, guys. There is my review for David Copperfield. If you've seen the film, you loved it, let me know what you loved down in the comments below. If you hated it, then again, let me know what you hated down in the comments below. And as always, guys, if you like what I'm doing here, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, your pets, your family, your friendly neighbourhood magicians, because I'm sure there's a magician called David Copperfield. I'm not losing my mind. Until the next one, peace, love, my dudes.